Good Sunday morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing. Going right ahead to our impacts map, we are looking at the possibility of dry lightning, or at least a mix of wet and dry, today across the mountains of central Idaho. And then for tomorrow, that boundary slides further south into parts of Nevada, Utah, and far southern Idaho, as well as parts of western Wyoming. Those will be our main weather concerns. But if you look here at the text, there will be some gusty winds possible today across parts of Nevada, coming in off the Sierra front especially, and into parts of Idaho and Wyoming as well. But it's probably the lightning will be the main issue. Precipitation, the past 24 hours, very light to negligible amounts across the region. Only a scattering of lightning across parts of the mountainous areas of central and eastern portions of Utah. We go further down the road, look at observed precipitation over the past 7 days. On the left, you can see bone dry across most of the western Great Basin, and even up in Idaho, just light amounts. A bit more in the way of rain. Those darker shades of green are anywhere from a ½ inch to an inch of rain, and that goes down into the Arizona Strip. You go in the past 30 days, you can see how wet we've been in our southern areas. But as you head further north and further west, the drier it gets. We take a look at our fuel conditions based on our ERCs and break them down into percentiles. The most critically dry areas are in parts of western Nevada, where the purples signify near record 97th percentile or higher fuel levels. Anywhere you see the red or the dark red indicates we're in the 80th to 90th percentile. So a concern here where we're expecting some lightning later today, and then further down into northern northwest Utah and northeast Nevada as we head into tomorrow. Looking at the infrared satellite imagery with upper level maps, you can see a weak trough of low pressure carving out here, producing a frontal boundary, and already moisture starting to develop, and this activity as it slides into the mountains of Idaho will be our main focus, with the possibility of thunderstorms developing later today. Otherwise, further south, hot, dry, high pressure continues to dominate. Now looking at the weather maps for this afternoon, on the left, a weak trough of low pressure, initially with dry air here over northern California, but the air does moisten up a bit across Nevada and into Idaho, where you see that darker shade, and even some green here, which indicates quite moist conditions. This darker shade here between the dark and the green is where we have expecting just enough moisture to have thunderstorms, but not enough of a copious amount of moisture where we start getting lots of wet lightning. So with that combination, we've issued high risk here across some of our mountainous regions of central Idaho. We'll keep that in mind. Looking at weather conditions for this afternoon. On the left, you can see where we're expecting isolated scattered showers and thunderstorms, where our main lightning concerns are. Another thing here on the right-hand side, the winds, the west-southwest wind gradient tightens up across the lee side of the Sierra, so we could see some gusts here in the orange, indicated anywhere from 25 to 35 miles per hour along the Sierra front. Now on Monday, area of moisture expands across the Great Basin. Everyone's starting to moisten up a little bit, enough for lightning, except for far western areas of Nevada. So on the right-hand side, we've expanded our lightning as it pushes further south into parts of northwestern Utah and far northeastern Nevada. Those areas will be under the gun for more dry than wet lightning. Looking at the expected conditions on the left, you can see in the areas in the green where we're expecting showers and some lightning activity, nothing too heavy. On the right-hand side, the winds diminishing across western Nevada, but starting to pick up across central and southern Nevada, heading not too far from the Strawberry Fire, winds out of the southwest. These purple blotches you see through here is what you typically see when you start seeing increasing thunderstorm coverage. These are microburst downdrafts, so it could be brief gusty winds in the purple here exceeding 40 miles per hour, even up here in Nevada as well, so be aware. In the vicinity of thunderstorms, short, brief, but intense downdrafts are definitely possible. Looking down the road to Tuesday, you can see that a fair amount of the area is in this blackish color with a bit of green in between, so we'll probably see some scattered thunderstorms again, especially across eastern Utah. This weak trough of low pressure remains stationary through here, causing this whole atmospheric condition to be rather unstable, so even areas further north that do not see thunderstorm activity, they will have unstable conditions, so on existing fires, probably a fairly high Haynes index of a 5 or a 6. And looking at weather conditions on Tuesday, most of our shower and thunderstorm activities confined to central and eastern portions of Utah, getting down towards a little bit towards the Arizona Strip. On the right-hand side, winds, again, strongest across the southern half of Nevada. And another weak disturbance brings some gusty winds into southwest Idaho. But again, the main concern with the winds will be some of those brief gusty downdrafts that we see here in the purples with gusts of over 40 miles an hour. Expected precipitation this Sunday morning through Wednesday morning, very light across the region, just a few hundredths of an inch to maybe a tenth. So definitely any lightning could be a concern. Going further down the road, at weak trough of low pressure continues to dominate on Wednesday, and this area in the green you see here expanding a bit is where we probably will see fairly widespread shower and thunderstorm activity. On Thursday, we see some drier air punching into parts of southwestern Nevada, but still somewhat moist enough for thunderstorms through here. You can see on the right-hand side, a lot of our eastern areas have moistened up into the green, and areas that were critically dry here in northwest Utah and northeast Nevada have modified into the moderately dry yellow category. Further north, where showers will be much more scarce, they will remain critically dry. And then going down into Friday, we start seeing drier air starting to punch in across our northern areas, and by Saturday that drier air pushes down to northern Nevada and northwest parts of Utah. So Nevada starts drying back out, but it'll be a gradual drying process further to the east. I think the rains across the southern Utah area into the Arizona Strip and to southern Nevada will knock back fuels down for quite some time. Precipitation expected over the entire 7-day period. This second shade of green is anywhere from a tenth to a quarter of an inch, and there could be some locally heavier pockets. You can see here about 4/10 of an inch in the Uintas. Wouldn't be surprised if we had a little half-inch bullseye anywhere in our southern areas. Going further down the road, our 8 to 14-day outlook shows a sharply cooler than normal pattern. There'll be more frontal systems pushing on through. That should suppress the monsoon. So on the right-hand side, you see a drier than normal signal that goes along with that cooler signal. Means monsoonal moisture and thunderstorms probably being pushed off further to the east. And this concludes our briefing. Have a great day.